Hi everyone, how are you? How are you? My name is Ini Akpan, CEO of SW Advantage Resources, an editing, ghostwriting, and publishing firm that translates the thoughts, ideas, and experiences of influential Africans and translates them into transgenerational legacies. In other words, we create books that stand the test of time, right? Now, today my topic is how to emotionally connect with your audience. So, can I say welcome? Welcome to my session. I hope you've been having fun so far. I hope you've had an amazing experience so far. So, how can you connect to your audience? First of all, we're going to look at the fact that there are different kinds of audiences here. First of all, you have your buying audience or your prospective buying audience. When you're writing a book, which I believe this summit is going to deal with, because the title is Write, Publish, and Sell. So I'm sure you understand that we're not just saying, oh, write a book. After writing a book, what next, right? You have to publish, and after publishing you have to sell. But you see, everything works hand in hand. None of them is exclusive of the other. They work simultaneously, right? Now, that means that you have your buying audience, meaning that you have the audience that is going to buy your book, right? The one that you are prospecting to buy your book. You also have the audience that is reading your book. You have the buying audience. You have the even the fan base, the people who see your ads, who see that you're writing a book and tell other people about it. You have all of those, right? So let's just say the three major types of audiences that you are going to be reaching out to when you are writing your book, publishing your book, selling your book. You have a wider audience, the crowd, out of which you are going to get your buying audience. And in that buying audience, you get the people that are reading the book, those people who are telling others about the book. Yeah. Now let's talk about, now that we've settled the fact about your audience, writing a good book is a lot like having sex. Does this shock you? I hope not. It's a lot like having sex. When you read a really good book, you feel like you are having intercourse with the writer. Not sexual intercourse in this case, but mental intercourse. It's almost like a really good book gives you the impression that you are sitting with the writer and you're just having a lot of fun. You're like, speaking soul to soul, spirit to spirit. It's like you're having an intense conversation, or perhaps a mild conversation, depending on what kind of book it is. You feel like you are one with the writer and the writer is one with you. A good book leaves you with a feeling like, this person really understands me, or this person really has really helped me, has really given me the direction I need, or this person has really reached down into my soul. I mean, how many times have you read a book and you're like, oh my god, I wish this book would never end, or oh my god, this book is, how did I not meet this book long before now? Or you read a book and you're like, I need to tell everybody about this, right? It's a lot like sex. Like, well, you don't come out saying, oh, I really need to tell people about this, my great partner, but when the sex is really good, you find out that bedroom talk, locker talk, people like try to hint like, something great is going on here, you guys are missing, I'm having the time of my life. It's a lot like writing a book is a lot like sex, and vice versa. Now, so in the process of my research, I decided, okay, I know from experience as a reader, as a writer, as an editor, that writing a book and reading a book is like having a soulish intercourse with the writer. The writer is also like pouring into the reader and all that. So what is it about great sex that I can use, that writers can use, to make their books really amazing and awesome? right? So I decided to like do a little research on what great sex, on what people think are the elements for great sex. And I can tell you it was mind blowing. The results were mind blowing because, you know, like, I mean, I've read thousands of books in my lifetime. Yeah, I'm not even talking about the books that we've edited, right? Like, just books that I've read. I've read thousands of books in my lifetime: school books, educational books, novels, self-help, motivational books, and all that. I've read, a lot. I've read whatever genre, I've read it. Yeah. And, there are just some books that I can never forget in my entire life. While there are some whose titles I don't remember, but I remember that book. There are some whose authors I don't remember, but I remember that book. And so it was interesting when I did this research on the elements that make for great sex, and I was able to see how, really these elements are the elements that these writers use to make their books amazing. So get your pen and paper, because I'm going to be teaching you how great sex can help you sell your book. Okay, again, just in case you have forgotten, my name is Akpan. I hope that has helped you, given you some time to get your book and paper ready. Yeah. Now I need you to know that as I discuss these elements, I'm going to tell you how you can use them, in your writing, in the publishing, in the selling. Does that make sense? So I'm not just saying, oh, this is in the writing process. Some of these elements would help you even in your selling process. And like I said earlier, your writing, your publishing, and your selling process they should run simultaneously. Meaning that at the time you started writing your book, you should have reached out to your editor, for example. You should have reached out to your publisher, like, oh, I'm going to write a book on this topic. I just want to give you a heads up, so maybe they can even advise while you're still in the process. Yeah. And then at the same time, you should also be selling, priming your audience. And so these elements I'm going to tell you about, are going to help you through the different stages of writing, publishing, and selling your book. Number one, I found out: enthusiasm. Right? This survey says that people said that what made for great sex for them, one of the elements that made for great sex was enthusiasm. This other partner really wanted to be with them, and they wanted to really be with this person. Imagine a young lady walks into a club, and she's like, today I need to look for a guy to sleep with, right? And so there are these different guys in the club, and she catches, oh my god, somebody just catches her eye. The guy is hot, the guy is muscular, is everything that she likes, and they're like flirting with each other already, from afar. And before you know it, somebody says, hey, come and see this guy. And then this guy that they introduce her to is not attractive, and she's like, nah, I don't like him, but they're like, no, it has to be this guy, and this guy is like, I don't fancy you either, but they say we have to be together, right? And then, now, out of these two guys, which of them do you think she's going to really have great sex with, mind-blowing sex with? The one that she's reluctant to meet and hang out with, or the one that is the chemistry is, the attraction is great, and like I said, from the distance they're already connecting, flirting with their eyes and stuff. Which of them do you think she's more likely to have great sex with? Apparently the one that they're both eager to be with each other, right? The hot guy, the one she's eager to be with, and the one that is eager to be with her. It's the same thing with writing your book. There has to be some level of enthusiasm that you bring into writing your book. How do I mean? Right? If you are, because in my experience as an editor and writing consultant, I have discovered authors come to me, few authors, not so many, compared to the several that have come, and some of them are like, there's this book I want to write. I want to write about sex. But people think I should write about business because I have a great business. But I really think that I have, something to say about sex. Right? Now, these people are conflicted. They're like, I want to write about this. I know that I have something to say about this. But people think I should do this. What do you think? Right? This is where enthusiasm comes in. What are you eager to talk about? Write on it. Forget about what people say you should write about. If you're not eager to write about it, then leave it alone and write on the one you're eager to do. Two things may happen. It's either you write it and you go ahead and publish because you're really eager to put it out there and your readers will buy, or you are going to along the road discover that I know that I can really write about sex. I really wanted to write about sex, but right now I think that I should write about business. And at this point, because you've started the process, the desire for writing about business, for example, now comes on you, and at this point you become eager to write about business. Do not write a book you are not eager to write. If it doesn't connect with your soul, if it does not click in your mind, if it does not excite you, do not write it. Don't write just because people say you should write. Don't write just because it is expected that you write. There has to be that level of eagerness, right? And you have to be able to sustain the tempo through the entire process. Because there are times in the publishing process, like for example, there are times that authors come, oh, I really want to write this book, and then they start the process, and after a while, 3 months, we've not heard from them. What's going on? We check up, what's going on, and then it drags for so long, and you just lose interest. So it has to be something that you are able to sustain interest in, the tempo in terms of interest. Be eager about what you want to write about, and if you're not eager about it, if it does not connect with your soul, then that may not be the best selling, that may not be that book. Now, being eager about it is not the same thing as writing something amazing and thinking that it's not good. Being eager is about being eager to put your message out there. When you are writing, you're like, I have this message, I want to talk about it. It's you're really like excited to put your thoughts out there, right? And then of course this has to translate in the selling process. For example, I gave out my book. I wrote an ebook, Become a Best-Selling Author Today. I released it about 2 weeks ago, and even though it's free, I'm giving it out for free, I have been eagerly talking about it. I've been excited about talking about it because I know it's so valuable, right? Like, oh, this book, oh, you really need to get it. I didn't need anybody to tell me, oh, write a book. I just had this information, like, you know what, people need this, authors need this information, put it out there, right? And then I put it out there, and I'm eager to tell people, look, have you gotten my book? So people give me feedback, oh, I clicked the link, it didn't go, click again. I haven't gotten the score. I haven't said, oh man, that book, people are just clicking the link, it's not going, what's going on? Like, most people come, oh, I clicked the link, oh, click again, because this person clicked, it didn't go the first time, it went the second time, so try again. I'm still talking about the book. Even right now, I'm talking about the book. You need to get it, right? I'm sure that Spola will show you the link somewhere there. Where is that? We'll show you the link somewhere there where you can click and get the book. Otherwise, you can just follow me at Iniright. Go to my page at Iniright on Twitter, on Instagram. Just scroll through or go to the link on my bio on Instagram, and you will definitely get the link to get the book, right? The second element is expressiveness. Imagine that you're having sex with your partner, and this person is not just telling you what they like or what they want. Like, should I touch here? Should I touch here? It's going to be so boring. Like, what's going on? It's the same thing with writing a book. Like, okay, what are you trying to say in your book? Some authors just write and they're like, we can't tell what they're trying to say. What are you trying to say? What is your message? Express it. Be yourself. Let your authentic self show. Like, we are all imperfect, You're not I believe that writers are God, But even gods are imperfect. If we want to go by Greek mythology, Zeus and all that, they were imperfect gods, right? So even as a god, it is okay for you to be imperfect. Express yourself, be your best self. There is no one size fits all, right? See, let your authentic self come out. Even let your authentic self come out. That's all I would say. Let your authentic self come out. All right, so let's go to number 3, and I hope you really understand what I mean by expressiveness here and letting your authentic self come out. Don't be cowed. Don't say you want to write a book and then you say, well, let me look at what this person wrote. Well, let me look at what this person wrote. Or maybe I should tailor my book like this person. Maybe I shouldn't give out so much information. Maybe I shouldn't tell them this. Maybe I shouldn't. Express yourself. What is it you're trying to say? Say it. Say it. We want to hear it. There is nothing new under the sun. That thing you are going through that you think, oh, is hidden, is and all that you should hide and all that, is something that somebody else is going through and is looking for another person they can connect with. For example, when I started sickle cell advocacy, I was just like, you know what, let's talk about this thing, because I was tired of many of the posts I was seeing were about, oh, how it's so painful, oh, the pain I went through and all that. I wanted to be able to see how people are inspired, right, in the midst of it. For parents who have children with sickle cell, for people living with sickle cell disorder, how to be inspired through the condition. And I just started talking, and guess what, I realized there was that audience that was willing to connect. Because of that, some more people connected with me because they were like, oh, you mean, oh, wow, like, I didn't know, So instead of aversion, instead of people to say, oh, no, I don't want to talk to her, oh, I don't want to get near her, or I don't want to patronize her, oh, and all that. In fact, it has drawn more people. Even my clients have developed even more compassion, more understanding, more respect for my work, because it's like, oh, wow, So express yourself. I can't imagine what that thing is that you don't want to express. It's like one of my clients, one of my most amazing clients. I love her because of her courage, her boldness, her bravery. Lara Kudaisi. Like, she just bears it all. Expressing yourself is not saying, oh, this is what this person did to me. Expressing yourself is being able to bring your authentic self. These are my mistakes, these are my victories, these are my failures, this is where I thrive. It's like Dangote writing a book on building a business, and instead of being, now I have moved into the next element now, which is openness. Instead of telling us the process which he went through, the failures, the mistakes he made, how he lost money, how he gained money, he just comes and tells us, okay, number 1 principle, work hard. Okay, what does hard work mean? I work hard every day. I work hard every day. How can you just tell me to work hard? Right? What does hard work mean? How did hard work get you here? So, in being open and in being expressive, you can say, oh, for example, I wasn't always this hardworking, right? I did this, I did that, I did that, I did that. But, at some point I realized, look, if you want to build this business, then you've got to put in your all. So I began to wake up at 4. I began to do this. I began to do that. I began to do this. Oh, these are the challenges I faced. At some point, maybe I fell ill, or I lost this amount of money, or this partner ran off with my money, or disappointed me and all that. And so this is now a process of openness. Be open with your audience, right? And being expressive is also being expressive and being open, which are 2 different things, right? I'm sure you can tell. It also comes to play in your selling process, right? Don't hold your book so tightly to yourself. So I don't want to tell anybody about my topic, so that they will not steal it. Or please, excuse me. There's so many, like, why you're still thinking about it, some other people are doing it. I remember editing a client's book at some point, and then just, the exact title of that book, I saw somebody on my status, put up a book with that exact title. I was like, whoa. It's almost as if I went to tell that person that, hey, I'm editing this client's book and this is the title. So in your selling process, be open up. Right, when you're still writing, be open, like, oh, I'm writing this book, this is going on, don't hold information so closely to your chest. There is nothing that you are giving out in your book that will not that somebody else may not stumble on eventually, right? So be open, be expressive in your selling, in your writing, talk to your publisher. Let your publisher know what is going on so that they can best advise you. Don't say, oh, except now there's also the place of using a trusted publisher, for example, like Worital, or right. I mean, last I checked, you could trust them, yeah, for your publishing process. And then also for my company, we also do our best, to ensure confidentiality 100%. We are not going to sell your work. So look for trusted editors, look for trusted publishers, right, and work with them. But be open. When you've gotten trusted ones, be open about it. Be open about your book. Be open about what you want to achieve so that they can best help you, right? Then non-judging, right? Imagine that I started this video by saying, oh, some of you authors, you don't know how to write a book. Some of you will lie to your publishers. Some of you don't know how to sell. How would you feel? Would you feel good? Would you feel great about yourself? Well, guess what? From the research I made, a lot of people said that one of the things that made sex great for them was the fact that their partners did not judge them. Their partners did not look at them like, see your tiny legs, see your small eyes. They both came to the table like, these are my fantasies, this is what I want, and and there was no judgment. There was nothing like, where did you learn that stuff from? Or wait, who taught you that one? And all that. There's just that atmosphere of this is a non-judgmental zone. Your readers also want to feel that way. For you to connect with your readers, you have to not judge them. You should be able to put out your information in such a way that they feel wrapped, like they feel comfortable, they feel one with you, they feel like, oh, this person really cares about me, right? This person is teaching me so much, but in the midst of this teaching, the person is just making me feel so good, feel so amazing. Let me tell you a story. Many years ago, let's say sometime around 2011, before I got into the publishing industry, I wanted to write a book. There was this book I wanted to really write. I dreamt about this book. I saw the cover, I saw my name, I saw the design, everything, right? I was eager to write this book. And the book was on sex, avoiding premarital sex and all that. And I was really eager to write. I started writing this book. I had notes, I had so much information that I wanted to put out there in that book. Guess what? I didn't write the book. Now, several years later, I looked back and I was like, whoa, thank God I didn't write that book. And I'll tell you why. The book would have been a book of judgments. Some of you are having sex with someone you're not married to. Let me tell you, you have destroyed your destiny. Do you know that these are the things that happen? Do this, and all that. It was going to be a book that wouldn't have connected with my audience. So several years later, several things happened and all that. I went through several processes and I discovered it's a good thing I didn't write that book. Because people do not want people to judge them. There's enough judgment out there in the world. People want people who can empathize with them, who can let them know that, look, there's nothing new under the sun. This thing you're going through, I have gone through it, right? And this is how to scale out. You don't have to always write a book about your own experiences, right? All I'm saying is, when you are teaching or when you're telling your story, your readers should feel comfortable. They should feel like you truly love them, like you truly want the best for them without you judging them. The next element that people said, made sex really great for them, which you can incorporate in your writing and selling and publishing of your book, is making them feel special. People said that when they had great sex, it was because the partner they had sex with made them feel special. They felt like they were the only person in the world. They felt like their partner was giving them attention. Now, look at it this way. The person they're having sex with is not self-conscious. The person is not thinking, oh my God, Are my legs too big? Is he looking at my big legs? Is he looking at my big head? Is he? The person is thinking, oh, how can I satisfy you? How can I make you feel good? How can I make? And because they are thinking about their partner, they are making, they are conscious to what their partner needs. Their ears are in tune with what their partner needs. They are not just writing this book like, oh, let me just write a book. You take this book, I've written this book, buy it. No, they are listening to their partner. What do my readers need? What do my readers need? Do they need a self-help book right now? Would they rather read a story? Would they rather a short book? Would they rather a long book? Would they rather an audio book? What is it? What do my readers need? What does my audience need right now? Do you understand? So, for example, at the time I'm recording this video, we are dealing with lockdown, COVID-19, low price of crude oil. There's so much uncertainty. People are losing jobs, right? At this point, this is not when your readers want you to come and tell them about, for example, how you made $10 million in 2 weeks last year. This is about how you are surviving now. Your readers want to know how to survive now. They want to know how to survive after they've lost their jobs. They want to know how they are going to live with their spouses, because they are locked down and they were patching up a marriage before, and now they are locked down together. They want to know how not to kill each other. They want to know how to keep up an appearance before their children who are now home. People have real issues right now. Right? And maybe some of them don't even have time. Maybe some of them have too much time. So this is where you make your readers feel special. You listen to them. You ask them questions. You find out what do they want, and you give it to them. Right? So, make your readers feel special. Write with them in mind. Don't say, oh, I really want to write a mighty book. I want a book of 500,000 pages. Do your readers want a 500-page book? Give it to them. Forget about 500,000 page book. Right? Give your readers what they want. Focus on them. Don't focus on yourself and your own desires. The next thing is spice it up, right? Spice up your book. Come on, guys, spice up your book. If it's a children's book, for example, put a lot of animations, cartoons, illustrations. If it is what they call it, infuse it with stories, tell stories, infuse humor, infuse candor, infuse wit, infuse satire, whatever. Just make your book interesting. Like, guys, the world is hard already. Let your book bring some excitement into our lives. Let your book not be boring. Spice it up, spice it up. Do something new, do something interesting, do something nice. Like, make us smile in the midst of all this vast boast that you're giving us in your book. All right, and then flirt with your readers. Imagine, this is really interesting, because I got it from where people said foreplay should begin days before the actual sex. And I was like, how can this work for book writing and publishing? And it's simple. Flirt with your readers, right? So what that means is, you're writing this book, introduce them. Let's say you are writing a novel, right? Ask them, like, oh, guys, so think of a question. What do you think about, if it's a sci-fi, for example? Introduce a scene from your novel and put it out there on your platforms. Like, connect with your readers, guys. So look at, maybe give them short parts of it to read. Just get them involved in the process. Tease them. Make them feel like, oh my God, something great is coming. Something great is coming. Whatever it is, flirt with your readers. Let them know, oh, my book is coming out. My book is coming soon. Give them something interesting, and then say, watch out for my book. You can start this process even 1 year before the time. I see readers so afraid that if I start talking about it too early, they will lose interest. Flirt with them long before it's time, before your book comes out. Tantalize them, scintillate their senses. Like, get them give them the cover. Tell them, what do you think? What do you think about this cover design? You like, you do not like? Give them the topic. Ask them to choose topics for you. Just there's so much you can do, right, to connect with your reader just by flirting with them. Get them involved in the process. Let them know that you are doing something for them. Let them know that you find them interesting enough to write a book for them. Let them know that you love them enough to write something that they need, right? So guys, please flirt with your readers. Then number 9, quality, not quantity. I said number 1, enthusiasm. Number 2, expressiveness. Number 3, openness. Number 4, non-judging. Number 5, make them feel special. Number 6, spice up your book. Number 7, flirt with your readers. Number 8, quality, not quantity. If you can put out your information in 3 pages, do not write a 300-page book, please. Yes. If you're think about quality, right? Okay, so I know that 3 pages is a little, but I hope you get my drift. What I'm saying is, the important thing, a great book is a book that tells what it needs to tell in the simplest, most efficient way possible. It is not a big book. It is not a large book. It is not the book that took you 10 years to write. It is the book that connects with your audience. It is the book that your readers love and they want to talk about. So if you can tell it in 10 words, do not say it in 100 words. Don't waste our time, guys. I mean, look at it. People that take what they call this thing now, this Viagra, right, and stuff, other sex enhancing pills, right? Now, that's for guys. The ladies on the other hand will tell you, it's not by the length of pounding. It's not the duration. Are you hitting the point? Did you take me there? Right? Do you get? People say 40. There was a time when 45-second man was reigning, right? But you see, the issue wasn't the 45 seconds. The issue was in that 45 seconds, he didn't hit it. If he had hit it in 45 seconds, there wouldn't be a complaint about 45 seconds, right? So quality, not quantity. Don't pound for 3 hours, right? The person will be like, God, what's going on here? Can I leave this place? Hit it in whatever number of minutes it takes you to hit what you need to hit, and please leave the person with a memorable experience. There's something I've watched, and this brings to mind something that people have said, the end peak rule, right? Peak end rule. So you start really sharp, boom, get your reader's attention, your opening page, your hit them, bass, as your introduction, the reader will oh man, get into the gist, catch their attention right from the cover, catch their attention in the book. You lead them through the book. They should get to the end of the book with so much excitement, no, this book, I don't want it to end. Tell me more. That is how you are going to write a book that will get people talking. Get people talking so that they'll be like, no, we need a part 2. And so your readers are like, we need more, give us more, we want more. Not a book that by chapter 5 they're like, okay guys, thank you very much, I've gotten the point, let's move on. So sometimes the book is big, but the readers have lost interest. I'm sure you can tell. You have some of those books. I have some of those books that honestly the best way I read them is I pick it up, I read one chapter and I drop it. I don't visit it again for the next 6 months, right? But there are other books that achieve the same aim, and then I pick it up, I read it to the end, I'm like, wow, amazing, and I'm able to so let that be your book. Let that be your own book, because a book we don't finish, how are we going to tell people about it? All right. And then number 9, stay fit. People said this, that what made for great sex for them was their partner was fit, they were fit, and people said, exercise, eat healthy and all that. Of course, we all know how this translates to great sex, right? If you're healthy, your blood flow is great, everything, right? It just makes the entire process amazing. Imagine having sex with a contortionist. Those people whose head, carry their legs put to their heads and, are able to twist their body. Like all those, amazing styles that you see online and in books and stuff. They'll be able to do that because their bodies are flexible, right? It's the same thing with your book, right? This is not saying exercise, which you still need exercise to keep your blood, yourself mentally alert and stuff. But it is about keeping fit mentally. Read books. You cannot be a great writer and author if you are not reading, if you are not researching, if you are not learning. How would you write a book? Like, if you've not been reading books, it's so difficult to write a good book. It is what it is, right? I've said, I've said before too, or I usually say to editors that one of the things that has really helped me stand out in my career is the fact that I said right from when I was little. My earliest memory of reading a book is when I was 2. Right, so right from when I was little, I was introduced to the world of books. I love books. I read books. I read books. Right, I enjoy books. I love books. So I have read so many books. Right, and I've read great books. I've always been, picky about the kind of books I read, right? So because I was introduced to my parents had a huge library of books, so I had a lot to choose from. So I was really picky about, I read really great books, best-selling books, right? And so, in my editing profession now, I'm able to bring in that because I have been subconsciously, my mind is fit, like I have trained my mind with great books. Right, it's the same thing as an author. I'm not saying, delay your book until you go and read 10,000 books. I am saying that develop the habit of reading consistently. Develop the habit of learning. You see this training that is, in line with what you want. Read it. Go attend the course, attend the training, watch the webinar. The richer your experiences are, the richer your book will be, the richer your knowledge. Some people write books, right, and these books lack depth, and their readers feel disappointed and they complain. Just recently, someone was complaining to me, with this way this guy talks online, I would have thought that his book was so amazing. I bought several of his books and nothing. There was really nothing there. It was just, because, perhaps this person is not digging their talents deep into books, into learning experiences. So stay fit, keep your mind fit, be mentally fit, read, learn, study, research, know what is going on. The more you know, the greater value you can command with your books, right? Now, so I believe that this have helped you. I've discussed 9 elements, right, of great sex that can help you write, publish, and sell your book. Now, I'm going to go to what can you do to increase your ability to connect with your audience. Once you do all these 9, you've got it. But I'll tell you one more thing. Retain your authenticity. I said this, during expressiveness, but I need to hammer on this. The best way to connect emotionally with your audience is to retain your authenticity. Do not go trying to look for everybody. There is no book that is for everybody. The Bible, the best-selling book of all times, that's the book that has had the largest number of sales, when you go through generations, according to research, is not for everybody. Think about it. The Bible is not for everybody, right? Not everybody will read it. Even Christians, not everybody who says they're a Christian will read the Bible. In the same way, your book is not for everybody. So retain your authenticity. There is that specific niche that need your book, that will connect with your book. Retain your authenticity. Don't, in a bid to impress everybody, now write a book for everybody. Guess what? Everybody will translate to nobody. But if you write a book for a particular niche, these people that that are your tribe, your people, your own, like your family, right? They will be able to connect with it, and they will be the one, blowing your trumpet. this person wrote this book. How many of us have bought books, simply because people talked about them? People said, oh, I read this book, amazing book. I'm like, what's the name of the book? Let me go and look for it. And you sit in a bookshop and you buy it. It's not even that you read it, but it just because people talked about it. So retain your authenticity and look for that specific audience that need your message, and then you connect with them. To help you, I strongly suggest that you get my free ebook, Become a Best-Selling Author Today, because in that ebook I give you a list of questions, 5 questions that every author should ask if they want to sell their book, right? So I give you a list of questions that would help you. By the time you answer those questions, you will be able to know who your audience is and how you can connect with them. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. Thank you so much, Worital Publishing. Thank you for inviting me to the summit. Thank you for the privilege. Thank you for the honor of being able to do this video. Thank you for watching from the beginning to the end. My name is Ini Akpan, CEO of SW Advantage Resources, an editing, ghostwriting, and publishing firm that translates the thoughts, ideas, and experiences of influential Africans into transgenerational legacies. We want your books to stand the test of time. All right, guys, take care.